Hello, everyone. Let's stand up.
Little baby's ready.
What?
Okay. Now the ASMR is offered. Can you join us? All right.
It's painful. It is painful. It is painful, the video. It's bad. It's bad.
Father's house first.
Yeah, and she's leaving all the time. Her name is Cena.
All right, counting out of Father's house in 3, 2.
Sometimes on this journey, I get lost in my mistakes. What looks to me like weakness is a canvas for your strength. And my story isn't over, my story's just begun. And failure won't define me, 'cause that's what my Father does. Yeah, failure won't define me, 'cause that's what my Father does. Ooh, lay your burdens down. Ooh, here in the Father's house, check your shame at the door, 'cause it ain't welcome anymore. Ooh, you're in the Father's house. Rival's not the end game, the journey's where you are. You never wanted perfect, you just wanted my heart. And the story isn't over, if the story isn't good. And failure's never final when the Father's in the room. And failure's never final when the Father's in the room. Ooh, lay your burdens down. Ooh, here in the Father's house, check your shame at the door, 'cause it ain't welcome anymore. Ooh, you're in the Father's house. Prodigals come home, the helpless find hope. Love is on the move when the Father's in the room. Prison doors swing wide, the dead come to life. Love is on the move when the Father's in the room. Miracles take place, the cynical find faith. Love is breaking through when the Father's in the room. Jericho walls are quaking, strongholds now are shaking. Love is breaking through when the Father's in the room. Love is breaking through when the Father's in the room. Ooh, lay your burdens down.
1, verse 6, it says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you, and he will never leave you nor forsake you." See, God, he's always with us, and he's never going to let us down. And I just barely thought of this, honestly, in the back of my head, but I was talking to Bethany about this because for those of you that don't know, I was raised LDS, right? So sometimes I remember stuff and I go, oh crap, is that a Mormon thing or is that a real Christian thing? Like it really goes through my head every once in a while, right? But I remember this visual that literally was so powerful to me growing up that they talk about it once in a while, and I wish I had it up there, but I don't. But I want you guys to visualize this, okay? So you're gonna see like two footprints walking in the sand on a beach, right? You don't see people, you just see footprints, and then lo and behold, one footprint disappears. Not like one foot individually, but like one set of feet, right? So you only see like one person walking. And it's really funny because like the story of this, like, you know, this isn't true, but like you can just imagine this, right? Like you go up to God and God's like, yeah, I was always with you, I never forsake you, right? I never left your side. And that guy or woman, he's up in heaven and he goes, yeah, but God, like there was that time in my life when like you stopped walking beside me. And God can answer and literally say, no, I didn't stop walking beside you. I picked you up and carried you. And those are the promises that God makes to us. And those are the promises that I want us to focus on as we really think about the words in this song and how much God is there for us and wants us to have a desire and a yearn for his love every single day.
Okay, count down the promises on 3, 2.
God of Abraham, you're the God of covenant, of faithful promises. Time and time again, you have proven you do just what you said. Though the storms may come and the winds may blow, I'll remain steadfast and let my heart learn when you speak a word, it will come to pass. Great is your faithfulness to me. Great is your faithfulness
beautiful name.
Were the Word at the beginning, one with God the Lord Most High. Your hidden glory in creation, now revealed in you are Christ. What a beautiful name it is. What a beautiful name it is. The name of Jesus Christ, my King. What a beautiful name it is. Nothing compares to this. What a beautiful name it is. The name of Jesus. You didn't want heaven without us. So Jesus, you brought heaven down. My sin was great, your love was greater. What could separate us now? What a wonderful name it is. What a wonderful name it is. The name of Jesus Christ.
turn down your bass cap like 10%, please? Thank you. Alright, not in a hurry in 3, 2.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hey. How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Good? Yeah? Yeah? Good? Good? Alright, one sec. Let me put this on here, okay? Bear with me. I'll get my life put together. Is that okay?
No.
I don't know what to tell you because you really don't have a choice. So. If it falls out, it falls. It's okay. Well, good morning. I feel like I know everybody in here. Actually, I don't know if I met you in the back right corner.
No, I came here 2 years ago though.
2 years. You kind of looked familiar.
I was in the middle school room before.
Okay. So what's your name?
Skylar.
Skylar. It's a pleasure to meet you. Everybody say hi, Skylar. Hi, Skylar.
Hi, Skylar.
There you go. Cool. Thanks for coming back, bro. Hey, well, I'm Josh. So there you go.
Nice to meet you.
I'm not the youth pastor here. I just am the worship coordinator. So I handle all worship. So if you play an instrument or sing or anything, let me know. Outside of that, though, I'm excited that I get to kick us off on a new series, No Longer on Elevate. Did anybody else notice that was a new bumper? Yeah. It looked pretty cool, honestly. Some of these they do really good with. But, yeah, well, I'll just kick us off here a bit. And to kind of like kick this off, like, that TV's broken. Is it not?
No. It's just the.
Whoa. Yeah, that's gonna bug me. Anyway, cool. Well, let me kick us off by telling you guys, man, do you guys just love spring?
No. Yeah.
Like early summer, spring, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like literally, so do I. Like literally, like it's warm, but it's not like too warm, like where you're dying of heat, you know? And like, I mean, the sheer fact, I don't know who else in here can relate. I mean, I feel like Jared's probably the only one in here, but like the fact that we can get on a golf course finally, play some golf. I mean, come on. Especially after, that was the longest winter ever. Dude, I normally play golf on my birthday in March. There was like a foot of snow on the ground, so if not more. Is it cutting in and out? That's really
bad.
cool. Whatever, that's fine. But like literally, like we just had a freaky long winter, but like it's just an amazing season, right? Like especially seeing like all the grass finally getting green, the flowers bloom, you know, and then all the parties that start happening. Yeah, no?
Josh.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get me. There we go. But like, literally one of my favorite times of this year is the parties. Like you finally can barbecue, finally get together and like have a bonfire and not be like freezing. You know, it's like it literally a good party, right? And like, honestly, like where I grew up, I feel like I hate talking about my childhood because everybody makes fun of me after. Where I grew up in Japan. There we go. Riley, you got it? Okay.
Wait.
She got her moment. Yep, there we go, Matt. There you go.
You're
Yep.
up in Japan?
Yep, grew up in Japan. But we're in Okinawa, okay? So it's a little separate island. I don't know like how many of you know like your geography or like World War II like history. That's where the Battle of Okinawa was. Different island, not mainland Japan. They actually consider themselves to be Okinawans before they are Japanese. Fun fact. But anyway, so it was like a tiny island though. Like literally you can drive from one tip of the island to the other in like an hour and a half, and that's because they drive super slow in Japan. So there you go. Like if we're driving in Utah, like on I-15, no traffic, it'd probably take you 30 minutes at the most, I bet. But like it's a tiny island, so I could literally get to the beach driving in any direction within like 10, 15 minutes. So for me, like literally, some of the best parties I ever went to were on the beach. Okay? Not trying to rub it in. You guys go to parties in the mountains, okay? As long as you don't light the mountains on fire, I'm proud of you. But, and jealous, I should say. But, like, I'll never forget how many random parties, like, we'd have. Like, there'd be, like, one for just any random occasion. And we'd be able to have the massive bonfires and the music and just, like, a great old time on the beach together, right? And, like, seriously, sometimes I would get home at, like, 4 or 6 a.m. When I say that, those were the nights when I'd sleep over at my friend's house. I'm a terrible influence, you guys, okay? I'd sleep over at my friend's house. Anyway, and his mom was in on it. So I'm not a terrible person. She was bad too. Okay? This isn't all on me. But, like, I could never do that today. Staying out that late, I don't know how I did it at that point in my life. So, but, anyway, but, like, literally it was a killer time. Like, why am I telling you about this party? Why, right? Well, because, like, over the course of this summer, early spring, you know, I honestly don't know how long this series lasts. I'm not even going to lie to you. But over the course of this series, I think it's 9 weeks, actually. That just popped in my head. That's called EDD, in case you were curious. It's a 9-week series. But over the course of this series, we're going to talk talk about what it means not to just throw a party, but to start a party. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Now, before we go any further, let's make sure that we're on the same page about what we mean by a party, okay? A party is any effort to celebrate, serve, or enjoy being with others in a way that adds value to life, okay? And with that in mind, a party starter is anyone who prepares the space for the party or who makes space for others to join the party. So while we should and definitely will party, right? What we're talking about is more than throwing an actual party. It's the idea that as followers of Jesus, we're invited to a life that feels full, vibrant, joyful, fun, and full of hope. Kind of like a party, right? So, there are going to be ups and downs, right? But Jesus said he'd show us how to live a real, full life. And more than that, we're given the chance to invite other people to that same kind of life, right? But can we just get real for a second? For a lot of people, this probably sounds like a strange idea. Like a real full life. All this church, Jesus, face up, that seems like the furthest thing from a party sometimes. You grow up with this idea of what it means to be a religious person and have all these rules, right? People think being a Christian is about following all of these rules, X, Y, Z. If you don't do that, you're gonna burn in hell. No. It's tons of stuff you have to do, and even more stuff that you're not supposed to do. That sure doesn't sound like a party to me. If I was thinking of that idea, it would not be one. But there's not a lot about faith that sounds all that fun. Oh, that was pretty smooth. That was smooth. There we go. Hats off to Nabel. Everybody give him a round of applause. But there's not a lot about faith that sounds all that fun. Isn't a party supposed to be fun, right? And this feels even more true when real life gets tough. When our circumstances are brutal, when we have to deal with difficult things, right? When we experience real pain, suffering, and struggle. When we feel alone or we've lost someone. When we can't find a reason to be excited about life. When God feels so far away and silent, nothing about that sounds like a party. So what do we do? If as followers of Jesus, we have the power to be a party starter, how do we do that when life and even faith don't always feel like the kind of party we want to be a part of? The good news here is that we don't have to guess at what Jesus would say about all of this, okay? We have his real words written down by people who really knew him when he was here on earth. In the book of John, and for those of you that are new to this, right? There's the 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, 4 testaments of Jesus' life, okay? In the book of John, we have a glimpse at something Jesus said about the kind of life he wants for us. So we can take a look at it, right? It says, the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full, okay? That's John 10:10, for those of you who want to write it down. I see so many of you taking notes. It's amazing every week. So first, Jesus is acknowledging that life can be really difficult sometimes, okay? It can feel like all the things, all the joy and fun and good things in life have been stolen or killed or destroyed. Sure, that may sound a little dramatic, okay? But if you've ever been through a really tough time in your life, you know that this is exactly what it feels like. That's because there's an enemy, a thief, right? A thief who doesn't want us to experience the life Jesus came to gave us, whatever. I'm sorry, you guys. And who doesn't want us to be the party starters Jesus calls us to be? It's not a thief, right? Thankfully, Jesus didn't end the sentence there. Instead, Jesus kept talking. So look back one more time at what he said next. He said, after a thief, it comes to kill, right? It says, I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. Okay? The thief wants our lives to be filled with anything but fun and joy and goodness. Jesus is saying, nah, that's not me, bro. That's not me. It's not what I'm about. Am I hip enough for you guys yet? Does that fit? Okay, you guys talk like that still? You guys change lifestyles so frequently. But he says no, that's not me. It's lit. Thank you. And Jesus didn't come to earth to give us rules, restrictions, and a list of things that holds us back. Like, no, like Jesus literally came to give us life. And not just any life, but a full, amazing, incredible life. The kind of life that feels like a party, right? Because that's what life following Jesus should be. A life marked with the pursuit of joy and real connection with others. Like, think of this verse as an invitation, right? Like a birthday invitation or whatever, right? Like, it's almost as if Jesus is asking, like, hey, do you want a full life? Great. That's exactly what I came to invite you to. Like, that's exactly what you'll get if you choose to follow me, right? So, like, literally, he came to break all the rules. Like, if you guys are, like, Bible readers, right, and you read Old Testament, what is the Old Testament full of? Chock full of. Rules. Murder. Okay, that's true. Because of rules. What else is it full of? Promises, yeah. Huh? Name, literally. Oh my gosh. Reading genealogy is murder. I'm sorry. I hope you do it once. And that's all I'm going to say. At least once, okay? Read through all that genealogy. And then I'm going to quiz you on it after. So, but like literally, Jesus came to break all of the rules. Like, he healed someone inside of what they call like the old chapels and the temples or whatever, like the sanctuaries where the Pharisees were, Riley, where they'd preach on Sundays. What was that place called? Yeah, the synagogue. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. In the synagogue, he literally healed someone in a synagogue on a Sunday in front of a Pharisee. Do you think he cares about the rules? No. He literally came to give us, I keep saying gave, why? But to give us freedom. But no, like, here's where this gets tricky, okay? Our idea of what it means to have this full, amazing life may not always line up with what Jesus was talking about there. See, like, when I think about living a full life, I think about a life that's easy, light, and fun. Like, no problems, no stress, no drama, no heartbreak. Like, that sounds like a party to me, okay? But like we said, real life isn't always like that. And that's not what Jesus is promising us. If someone has ever told you that's what Jesus is promising you, they're a liar. I'm going to tell you that right now. That is not what he promised us, okay? The full life Jesus came to give us isn't a life that's always easy. Instead, it's a life that empowers us to be the kinds of people who can choose peace and hope and joy and freedom because Jesus is in it with us no matter what good or bad shows up in our lives. When we choose to follow Jesus, we're choosing to say, like, yes to believing that his promise of full life is possible. No matter what comes our way, it's choosing to believe that life with Jesus is an invitation to the best party we can, like, possibly imagine. And because this is true, when we choose to follow Jesus, we choose to take on the responsibility of bringing that party to the world around us. See, because of Jesus, you have what it takes to be a party starter. You literally do. Like, you have the promise of a full life, and with that, you have the chance to let that full, amazing, good life spread to those around you. So what do we do now, right? Well, we look for ways to get the party started. And a party starts quite literally as an invitation, okay? It can be as simple as inviting someone to hang out at your lunch table, or as elaborate as throwing a huge party. Like, this is now an invitation to you. An invitation for you to be a party starter who brings life everywhere you go. How do you do that? Okay, how do you do that? Like, when we look at the lives of other party starters, whether they are starting the party for others through serving, through creating spaces where others can thrive, through including the overlooked, or through spreading joy, we can learn just what it takes to be a party starter. Wow, I cannot talk right now. I'm sorry. But we literally can see what it takes. Party starters are the new people who are creating things. Right? Like, they're creating businesses, right? Using social media to share a powerful story. Like, quietly meeting the needs of others. When I say, like, quietly, like, It's like, don't let your left hand know what your right hand's doing, right? When Jesus says that about like giving and serving, right? So that's why we say quietly, just so you guys know. But yeah, like quietly meeting the needs. And so many other things, okay? The actions of the party starters in your circles are one of the ways we can see God at work every day. Where's Matt? Come here, Matt. Yeah, it's your turn. You guys, everybody, invite Matt up to the stage. So, everybody knows Matt, yeah? Yeah? Okay, cool. Matt, it's really funny because I was like sitting here this morning, like thinking about this lesson. I have 2 minutes. Oh my gosh. I was sitting here and I was like talking to Gavin. I was like, Gavin, do you have any stories in your life about like kind of inviting people to stuff? And he's like, no, not really. And then I sat there and he was like, go ask Matt. And then I was talking to Matt and I started talking to Matt about it. And I was like, holy crap, dude. I remember what you did. So here's Matt's story about being a party starter, okay?
I want to say Josh remembered it and I didn't. So, growing up in Utah, I have this written down. I had like 5 minutes. Give me a break. Growing up in Utah, a solid 95% of my friends were not Christian. They were just of a different faith in general. This never stopped me from being their friend, but has left me with an opportunity. I could be the medium between them and God. I wasn't going to go door to door like missionary. I'm not really dressed for the part. I get told I look like a discount hippie every day. But I could do anything else I could in a godly way that fits my lifestyle. The way I found this was inviting all my friends to come see my band play a show at the church, and they all came to see my band but didn't want to stay for the rest of them. I forced them to, and they enjoyed it. It hasn't been an overnight change in their beliefs, but I will continue to jump at opportunities like this to hopefully leave a spark and hope inside of them. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
There you go. Give it up for Matt. But like, I want you guys to like realize this, okay? Like, I can promise you, I was actually going to try and do an altar call at the end of that worship night, and I wasn't able to because of other circumstances that happened. But Caleb went. Who was here for like the night? Okay, the night of music. Okay, perfect. So Caleb went, the very last guy that performed. I went to him after because we were talking about doing an altar call, and then it didn't happen or whatever. And he's like, dude, there were some kids out there that needed it. Like, he's like, they were literally listening to the words, and like, I could tell that they were like in the moment needing it. And I feel guilty kind of for not being able to do one, but it's really funny because like literally 2 or 3 of the kids that he was talking about were Matt's friends. So like, you and I literally have no idea what it could mean to the people around us to get an invitation to the amazing good life that Jesus offers, okay? We don't know what's going on in their hearts and minds. Like, we sometimes wonder if that invitation would be imposing or like offensive to someone, but maybe an invitation to the party offers hope that they're desperately seeking, even if they don't realize it, okay? Like, let's start handing out invitations to people all around us by the way we live our lives, okay? So there's a little bit more in here, but we're at time. So I just want to like put a challenge out there, okay? And this isn't saying like bring all your friends next week, although that'd be great. Like I said, I want to get a tattoo before my baby's born. Get to work, okay? But on that note, what? I don't have one. I just want one, okay? Bethany won't let me get them. I just want one tattoo. No, she's gone. She lets me get them all. Don't worry. Well, not all of them. I wanted Michael Scott. Who here watches The Office? Prison Mike with his bandana. I wanted Prison Mike a portrait right here on my thigh. She said yes, and then 2 weeks before the appointment, she's like, nah, you can't do it. I'm sorry. I was like, oh, come on. How funny would that, like, I was so hyped. This was before we knew we were pregnant. I was like, but babe, like, I'll show up at Hume, not tell a kid about it, and then, like, I'll be in my board shorts on the beach, and then, like, it'll pop up, and one of the kids will be like, no. Like, how funny would that have been? Oh, it's so millennial. Oh, my gosh. Whatever. All right, anyway, so we're 2 minutes over, so we're just going to throw this out there, okay? I have some envelopes that Novell filled up, and they're right next to Alan right there, actually. So I want, this isn't saying invite a friend, but whoever just feels the inclination, the pull, the desire to be more of a party starter, raise your hand. Yes? Yes? Okay, Alan, will you give them envelopes? It was pretty much everybody on the second row, nobody on the back row. Oh, Jason raised his hand. Okay. And I'm being dead serious. Do not open these envelopes yet, okay? That's fine. I do not open these envelopes yet because I want you guys to kind of level set with me. We always talk about this garbage like in small group, like, hey, go invite your friends, be a great Christian, blah, 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 right? Not that that's garbage, but you know what I mean. Like, we always talk about this. I do not want you to open that envelope and take the piece of paper unless you're seriously going to do it. Unless you're seriously going to do what that piece of paper says, I don't want you to take it. Okay? Do I have some level of commitment? What? Exactly, but that's the whole point, because we always challenge you guys with stuff, and some of you might have the same challenges, some of you might have different ones, but I honestly, genuinely don't want you to take it unless you're going to be serious. Anybody need to give their piece of paper back, their envelope back?
I don't need to give mine back. I just wanted to tell you, you picked low quality envelopes and paper, so we can basically just look at
Okay, that's fine, yeah. Anyway, so, okay, are we good? Okay, throughout this week, I want, read them after we pray us out. I want you guys, literally, highly take part in these this week, and I want some follow-up next week. I'm not expecting all of you, but I want at least a couple of you to come up to me like, hey, this is what I did. This is what mine said. I don't know what it's going to say, but just tell me. You could lie to me because I don't know what it says, but I'm not encouraging you to lie, but that's all I'm saying, okay? Okay, let me pray us out real fast, okay? God, just thank you so much for everybody here in this room and just for the friendships that we have here and all of the just loving qualities that we all can have and share with each other. I know, God, we all just yearn for the friendships that we have here, but we all have friendships outside of this room, God, and help us to have that desire to want our friends to have the same level of love and care and commitment for each other as we do here in this room. God, I see it every single week, somebody struggling, somebody hurting, and literally at least one, if not more people in this room, comforting them and loving them and showing your love that we're told to do so. And God, just help us have that desire and that fire to share that with more people in our lives. We just pray over everybody here as they finish out their school year, that everything goes well. And we just pray for all these things in your name. Amen. Cool. If you have any questions about God, the Bible, Jesus, I'm here for a little bit. You're out of here.